Hey everybody, Aaron J. Anderson here. So I've been a very long Panasonic Micro Four Thirds user, going way back about 10 years to the Panasonic GH2. I've had almost every Panasonic release since then, and dabbled in some other manufacturers, but always go back to Panasonic. It wasn't till the Sony a7 III that got me to change my Panasonic G9 or Panasonic in general to the Sony camera. Because this really is a good camera. So here we are. Panasonic S series just came out, full frame. Will I go back? Stay tuned. So we lowered the light just to see if we can get the shadows off. Now with the flash off is what you see is what you get. When you turn the flash on, now a lot of you subscribers of mine have been with me for many years through the Panasonic years, and I'm not a brand specific person, although I love Panasonic cameras. Out of all the cameras I've had out of Nikon, Sony, Canon, they feel the best. Everything just feels perfect for me. And when I did my video of will the Sony a7 III replace my Panasonic G9, in that video I said, just a quick nod to Panasonic. The Panasonic G9 was amazing. If I were to theoretically say what was wrong with it, well, it didn't have a Sony full frame sensor in it. Basically, that's it. And that's one of the reasons why I switched over to the Sony a7 III is for that delicious full frame sensor. Now, the only thing that the Panasonic G9 is missing, because it really is like a perfect camera, is the full frame sensor. That's what I said. If it had a full frame sensor, I would be that would be my perfect camera. Well, it wasn't until people were telling me you got to try the Sony a7 III, so I did, and well, here you see I switched. And after using the Sony a7 III, I found out another thing that the Panasonic G9 needed to be the perfect camera, and that is this autofocus, this continuous autofocus that this Sony cameras have. The eye autofocus in photography is great, and just the continuous autofocus tracking in photography and video is absolutely wonderful. It actually makes my job of getting focus so easy. So, the new S series comes out from Panasonic, full frame. And so, like I said with my Panasonic G9, if it only had the full frame, it would be my perfect camera. So I was super, super excited when Panasonic said that they were going to go with full frame cameras. So I kept my eye on it, and the rumors started coming out, and some of the rumors I was hoping was wrong, but then we got like a pre-release image of it, and it took away the flippy screen of the Panasonic G9. And then we found out that it's much bigger than the Panasonic G9, and now it's just been released a couple days ago, and not only did they take away the flippy screen, not only is it bigger, but it's also a lot more expensive, and it still has that same autofocus, the continuous autofocus. So I'm quite bummed out actually, because when I said the Panasonic G9 only needs the full frame sensor, if they would have just made a Panasonic G9 exactly the same thing like Sony's been doing, they have the same body for all the Sony a7R and blah, 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 blah. If they would have just made the Panasonic G9 with the full frame sensor in it, and even if they didn't change the autofocus, then it could be a really good contender, at least for me to get. But with all the differences, changes that they made, I'm sorry, but I want to love it, but I just can't, man. I mean, why? When you get a new camera, you got to ask yourself, with the camera I have now and the new camera, does that new camera do anything that would make my job as a professional easier? Or does it do something that I just have to have? Maybe not something that I just would be cool to play around with, but something that I have to have. And the new Panasonic camera doesn't have anything over my Sony a7 III. It doesn't have a flippy screen. It doesn't, it's bigger. This actually is the perfect size body for me. And I actually like this better than the G9, although the G9 is still superior. The G9 is just a little bulkier than this. So when I travel a lot, this just is nice and thin, and it doesn't, ache my hand at all. Panasonic G9 is still good for that, but this is the perfect size for me. If I do longer photo shoots, I have the battery grip that I could put on this to make it more comfortable for longer hours. So yeah, I'm not going to get the Panasonic S series. It's bigger, it's more expensive. The glass is expensive. I just don't see the autofocus seems to be the same. Now, if we go to, I'm not going to play all these or anything, but if we just check out, Tony Northrup did a myth versus reality, which is so true. I mean, everything he said in there is pretty right on, not just with the Panasonic cameras, but with most cameras. And you could just check out, all the reviews out there. So I'm not going to go into detail of the specifications because you probably already heard that. I'm just giving you my point of view because so many people have been texting me and sending me messages on Facebook and everything. Hey, are you going to go with the full frame? Because everybody knows I love Panasonic, and the only thing missing from the G9 was full frame. Well, it's also the autofocus that I come to realize with the Sony cameras. And it's just there's no way I would pay that much money for a bigger camera, less capable focusing, more expensive, and waiting around for lenses to come up when the Sony a7 III does everything that I need. I wish this had 4K 60p. I don't necessarily need it, but it would be good in some situations. And I wish it had a completely articulating screen, which maybe Tuesday we'll go more into that on our live show with David Osler called Behind the Photo. So check that out on Tuesdays. We're going to host it here this Tuesday. And the battery life is on this good, the size, the weight, everything's great on this camera, and I just can't see myself going to the Panasonic. So I'm just going to keep going in circles here because there's not much to say. Let me know what you guys think. Leave some comments, give me some thumbs up. Do you agree with me? Are you a Panasonic fanboy or someone who loves Panasonic like me and this just isn't cutting it for you? Or are you seeing something that I don't see? So let me know in the comments. Talk to you guys later. Bye.